Good evening. The body of a missing man from Onion Lake has been found. Family members say they last saw Rodney Canapotato Wednesday after being released from hospital. He was suffering from complications related to epilepsy. His body was found in a wooded area near his home. RCMP say they don't suspect foul play. A 54-year-old man has been arrested following a drug bust and cut knife. RCMP say they seized about 20 pounds of marijuana, $5,000 in cash, a firearm, and other items related to drug trafficking. Glenn Shoquist of Cut Knife has been charged with possession of marijuana for the purpose of trafficking, possession of proceeds of crime, and possessing a firearm while prohibited. He will appear in a North Battleford courtroom tomorrow. Now, for those of you unable to vote for one of these 7 council hopefuls in the city's by-election on April 17th, today is your chance. The advance poll at City Hall is open until 8 this evening. Now, you're just asked to bring with you some valid photo ID. That would be either an Alberta or Saskatchewan driver's license or any government-issued photo ID. Now, if you don't have a Lloydminster address on your ID cards, you'll need to bring proof of residence such as a utility bill or tax assessment notice. For a full list of valid forms of ID, head to lloydminster.ca/election. Well, most of us in some way or another have known someone who's been touched by cancer. That's why organizers of this year's Relay for Life hope to raise even more money than they did last year to fight the disease. Kim Smith has details from last night's launch.
Photos from previous events of cancer survivors flashed up on the screen. With a little over a month and a half to go until the 2013 Relay for Life, organizers are hoping to keep the momentum from the launch going.
This is an opportunity for Lloydminster to come together to support those people that you know of, but obviously people that you've never met before.
Last year, the event raised $328,000 for the Canadian Cancer Society. One cancer survivor says the support she's received from the society has been invaluable.
It just gives you that extra support that you need at that time to be able to talk to other people who've been through the same thing you're going through.
As of Wednesday evening, 20 teams were registered for the overnight event. Organizers are aiming to have 75.
We're really strongly encouraging the youth teams to get involved because they are our future. They're the ones that are going to have to keep the momentum going.
This year's Relay for Life begins at 7 p.m. on May 31st at Bud Miller Park. For information on how you can donate or get involved, head to the website. Kim Smith, Newcap News.
Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is slowly being recognized. An expert in the field of FASD was in the border city today to provide training to individuals and families. The presentation was part of the Alberta government's 10-year strategic plan to provide programs and research. In this week's Healthy Living, Anna Stanislaw explains the prevalence of FASD in Canada and how it impacts families and society.
Dan Dubovsky estimates it costs $2 million over a lifetime to raise one person with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. FASD is a range of disabilities that is caused by women consuming alcohol during pregnancy.
It causes more damage than other drugs of abuse, like crack or cocaine or heroin, because it exquisitely seems to target the developing brain. And the problem is the brain begins to develop about 2 weeks after conception, long before women know that they're pregnant.
About 1 to 3% of the population has been prenatally exposed to alcohol.
Dubovsky says there are key traits to know if someone has FASD. Those diagnosed are very friendly and outgoing, but have difficulty recognizing risky situations, which can often lead them into trouble. Verbal reception is also impaired, and many cannot read or understand social cues or situations. Alberta has a 10-year strategic plan to provide access to diagnosis services, prevention programs, and more.
They end up in services that they don't need to be in that are really costly. So corrections is very costly for people. Hospitalizations are really costly for people. But if we can provide the right kind of help and the right kind of support for them, I think we can also reduce costs.
Alberta right now has about 13 or 14 diagnostic centres across the province. That's more than the rest of Canada has all put together.
Although there is still room for improving services and creating awareness for the disorder.
People with FASD have wonderful strengths and abilities, and we need to recognize those. We focus a lot on the negatives, and we don't recognize their strengths and abilities and build on those, which is what we want to do.
Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.